Oh,
We just saw The Killing Joke.
we did.
It was very good.
Brilliant. We will say, because it's an animated film,
Yes.
something you won't be able to get readily available. Firstly, we both enjoyed it and want you to go and watch it. So
Yes.
go watch that first.
Do that.
So we're not spoiling the movie,
Yeah.
we're spoiling the comic book.
Yes.
And the comic book's basically free online. So get the comic book if you can't see the movie first.
Yes.
And then come here.
In saying that, there is like a whole probably hour of not the comic book before the comic book sets in. So it's just an awesome setup for Batgirl. Kind of, if you didn't know much about Batgirl before, makes you kind of fall in love with Batgirl and understand why it's such a big deal.
Later on.
Later.
Yeah.
Why the Killing Joke kind of plot is so huge.
So it helps the story a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing
Heaps.
because taking it out of context, that's it. We're going into spoiler territory now.
Here we are.
We're in this little terrain here. Where she comes into the Killing Joke story, it made me realise how little she actually is in it. Because she's like, hey, here's a book, here's your coffee, and then she gets shot.
Yeah.
Like, that is her entire plot in the Killing Joke. So if it wasn't for that hour, she would seem pointless.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. So it's very clever.
Yeah. So they did it really well. Kevin Conroy
Is Batman.
just the Batman you all know and love from all the animations and games.
Yeah. Tara Strong, who's usually Harley Quinn,
Yes.
is Batgirl in this, which is interesting.
Well.
Yeah.
Nolan North, of course he's in it.
Yeah.
Of course he's freaking in it. The British thug, we believe.
Yeah, pretty sure that's him. We'll check, and then it'll say on the screen.
And of course, how could we forget
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill?
Oh,
jeez.
having, again, that hour of not the Killing Joke, when he first speaks, it's like, yeah, okay,
like,
we're here.
Here we are.
Yeah.
This is the film. So good.
And I've not played Arkham Knight, so I haven't seen him or heard him since Arkham City, which was a long time ago.
It's been a while.
So hearing new lines from Mark Hamill as the Joker, so good.
So good. And I think, like, because those Jokers, like, they were kind of fun and everything, like dark and whatever, but still kind of fun, whereas this, like,
It's
I think...
serious.
Yeah, with the whole plot of the story, with how dark and intense the story is, it just, like, adds this whole nother layer to Mark Hamill's Joker, which is already quite frightening, and it's like...
but it's the performance
just
of
the
this.
insanity of it.
The puns as Barbara falls, they should be funny, but they were terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, they're hilarious. Like, taken out of context, they're very clever. But there's just so much sinister to it, because also, knowing what he's about to do, also it's like, this guy doesn't care. Like, he's just, he does care, but he knows, like, you know, he's just insane.
Yeah, I reread The Killing Joke last Sunday, and it was like, I came to that section and I was reading through it and I'm like, oh, Mark Hamill's going to have some fun with this and it's going to be terrifying. Yeah, and then we were saying the very end, it kind of gives off a bit of a different vibe to the comic.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Ambiguous. It's even more ambiguous.
That's a good word.
Yeah, there it is. That's what I was doing just then, just staring at the floor.
Yeah, just it's like just your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll say...
love our bread, we love our butter.
I found Batman... Okay, big spoiler, Batman laughing.
Yeah.
I
Terrifying?
found it really, like, unnerving.
Yeah.
Man.
He's laughed once or twice before in the animated series, and both times it's like that. It's just raw.
Yeah, you're like...
It's just creepy.
You should be so broody and not emotional.
And that's what makes it even more ambiguous. Because it's like, I don't know where that laughter is sitting. Like, are you laughing at him? Are you turning mad? Are you laughing to get him to think you're on the same level before that's it? I'm killing you.
Yeah,
Like,
because he's kind of like, earlier on he's like, oh, I want to, like, not I want to know who the Joker is, but we don't know each other, and then is this like him
it's
kind
getting
of
to know him. And
getting to know him or thinking that he does, or whatever? Oh, man.
It's very cool. And I heard someone exiting the cinema, a great review of this, basically, is that it really shows how the material is just perfect. Because, barring the hour and probably a few lines here or there, it is just ripped from the comic book, and it just shows how perfect a comic it is. Yeah. Because usually with adaptions, there's things that have to change to suit a filmic look.
Yeah.
Whereas this was just, there was just nothing. It
Yeah.
was just the comic. Musically, I loved it.
Oh.
The music was so intense and
Gorgeous.
so, like, animated series. Like, it was just the perfect film
Yeah.
for that sort of thing.
And then after the credits, they had this bonus section talking about kind of the making of, but it was a lot about the music. And I guess kind of the choreography, like the storyboarding of the musical part of it, where the Joker's dancing and singing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Loony.
So good.
Yeah, so great. But yeah, that part was really, really interesting, the way they talked about it, and they were just so passionate and invested.
Yeah, to visualize
Into it.
a musical that was in a
part
comic
was
book
awesome,
that just
yeah.
doesn't exist. Like, there's
Yeah.
no music. So as they said, that it was just a rhyme, like it sounds
Yeah.
like a nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
So managing to take that and make it visual and make it audible, that's the word, right? Yeah. Audible, there you go. Yeah, it's just, it's an outstanding, like, achievement, because it doesn't feel jarring.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, yeah, this is where it's going, this is fine.
And it fits perfectly, so perfectly. I was interested, when I read it last week as well, I was interested to see how they would do that section. I'm like, I want to hear this song.
Yeah.
And I will next week.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, did it really well. Super...
It's just so good.
freaking awesome.
One thing we both agree on is the animation style is quite strange.
Yeah, but all of theirs are...
Yeah, it's the same style.
DC's
but
animation.
It's like, it's quite different to a lot of animations.
Yeah. And one thing I did notice as well was how much space they had. Like, there were some shots that seemed to go for a really long time that didn't need to. So there was, like, shots of Barbara Gordon... There's a lot of shots of Barbara Gordon with a lot of space. So there was, like, her running before she could no longer run ever again. And just her running, there was a shot of her face while she was running, and it just went for so long. I'm like, this is really long, but
I'm okay.
it kind of shows, like, the space of this, and I don't know, there was something about that, and then, like, her sitting on top of a water tower, and it's just a shot of her sitting there for a really long time before it changed. And, like, those parts, there weren't music, so it almost added a little bit of tension to it.
It's amazing, the pacing. Like, usually things like that you shouldn't have in, because it stops the pace.
Yeah.
But it's a weird pacing of the Barbara Gordon section, because it's so... Stuff happens, and then she sits for a bit, and then stuff happens, and it sort of somehow works.
Yeah, I wonder whether it's because we know what's coming,
that it's
so
okay.
they give it so much space, and it kind of adds that tension, because you're like...
She's going soon.
It's gonna happen.
It's the same with the Uncharted franchise.
Yeah.
You play through that game going, someone's gonna die. And so they just keep making you go, yeah, no, this person could do it, and this person, like... That's the same sort of thing where, because you know what might happen, and in this case, will happen, you're like, I want to be attached to every one of these characters, keep giving me time with them. So it's the same sort of thing, yeah. We loved it. It was brilliant. Go watch it. If you've decided to watch this because you've read the comic, so you're fine with spoilers about the comic, which is fair enough, definitely go find the film, pick it up.
Please.
Not
Please
literally
do.
pick it up, but...
We can. You gotta pick it up to go buy it.
That's true. Do they sell them on the DVDs? Or is it going to be an online-only thing?
Surely they'll sell on DVD. They sell, like, all of
they
DC's
sell
things on DVD.
Flashpoint.
Yeah, there you go.
Just watch it, because
It's really
it could be Mark Hamill's last Joker thing, because he keeps going, I'm done, and then comes back because something he really loves is what's going to be there. So
and this seems like a high point.
like he was saying, yeah.
Pinnacle point is the Killing Joke. He's apparently always wanted to do this, and then when it came up, he's like, oh crap, I have to do this.
Well, do it
Like-
really well. It could come back for Death for the Family. Death in.
Yeah. They've all of them. They've got
Yeah.
Death of,
Yeah, that's true.
Death in.
Yeah.
Great.
See you around.
Go watch it, please.